All right, folks, back on the Bossman show. We're going to recap the NBA Finals, talk about Deion Sanders, and give you some crazy stories here on the Boss Report this week. JC, what is up with you, my brother? The NBA season ends in July. Can you believe it?
Man, it's crazy, right? Normally, the draft will be over with by now. Summer league will be going on. Man, the calendar has been pushed back, of course, due to COVID. And yeah, man, Game 6 ended last night. NBA Finals, man. Shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. Second championship in their franchise history. First championship in the last 50 years, man. Not since the days of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Excuse me,
Lou Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor and the big old Oscar Robertson were teaming up back in the day, man. Had the Bucks won a championship, man. So it was huge, man. I initially said Suns in 5. You know what I'm saying?
It should have been Suns in 5.
Right. But man, you gotta give credit where credit is due. Giannis, he is, officially after last night, he is the face of the NBA. They've been wanting to give him that title for a while now. He's officially the face of the league. It was crazy, man. Dude pretty much put the team on his back last night. 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 block shots. Come on, man. In a closeout game, that's crazy. I think he tied for most points ever, in a closeout NBA final game, man. But, I mean, give it up to him. And then Chris Middleton, he's going to get paid, at some point, man. He's a bona fide, number 2 option. And you can damn near argue he might be a number 1 option also, in the absence of Giannis, man. And Jrue Holiday, he didn't have a great NBA Finals overall, but he stepped up when they needed him the most in Game 5. And you got to give it up to him, man. The Bucks, small market, they did it the right way. Giannis has been there 8 years. Chris Middleton's been there for a number of years as well. They grew up together, man. That's how you're supposed to get out the mud. Milwaukee definitely got out the mud, and man, my hat's off to them. And I think you can make an argument now, like certain rings, Bossman, are built differently. Like the KD and all that. He did teaming up with a super team already. With a great team. Like I think those rings don't mean as much as what Giannis has done. That's what Dirk did in 2011. That's what Kawhi did, in 2019. Even LeBron the 1 year, in Cleveland, where he beat Golden State. So, like I said, I thought it was a great finals. I was kind of worried. I didn't think it was going to be great TV viewing, but it turned out to be a great finals for everybody, man. And, man, Milwaukee Bucks, your 2021 champions, dog.
Looking at it on the court here, JC, the difference for me was that Milwaukee's scoring comes from the 3 or the 4 or the 5 position and the 1. With Giannis sliding to the 5 from the 4, or Middleton to the 3, and Holiday at the 1. And Holiday's defense on either Booker or Chris Paul stymies the offense because the Suns don't have anybody besides Paul and Booker who can create their own shot. Because everybody on their team needs Paul or Booker, whether it be Bridges in the corner. Also, you got Crowder doing his, sidestep threes, and Ayton, Cam Johnson off the bench. And, but see, people talk about Cam Payne. Cam Payne's he's not reckless. And, those drives he makes that he misses wildly, they lead to runouts on the other end. Like, it's from a curse. So, for me, when I looked at this matchup, there's only pretty much playing 7, 8 guys for Milwaukee, 7. But 3 of their 7 was like versus Phoenix's 2 small 1 and 2 guys. That was outmatched. But Phoenix had a chance to win the series in 5 games. They messed up Game 4. Booker did in Game 4 with all those fouls. He went for 50. And in Game 5, Phoenix blew opportunity there. So, then the talent gap of your 8 versus my 7, when 3 of your 7 is Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis versus
right.
Paul, Booker, then it's a big drop-off. That was the difference
Right.
for me when you look at it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. And hey, man, you laid it out perfectly. You know what the series all boiled down to. You mentioned the defense of Drew Holiday. You know what I'm saying? And the iconic play that he had in Game 5 where he stripped Devin Booker, or what could have been a go-ahead basket for Phoenix, that led to the alley-oop on the other end for Giannis, man. That sealed that game, Game 5 victory, man. And you mentioned the depth. You know, as far as Milwaukee had veteran guys that have been there before, and it's something still to be said. There's always been a formula when it comes to NBA finals or NBA champions. You have to kind of go through heartache. You got to go through agony. You got to lose, learn how to win. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like Phoenix was going to be that first team to kind of buck that trend. You know what I'm saying? Because even with the super teams, as far as the origins of it, if you want to say Boston, you know, started it cool. I'm really looking at Miami. Even Miami lost their first year. You know what I'm saying? To Dallas. You know, so just because you get on a super team or a team with a bunch of all-stars doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win. You have to be a good general manager. You know, you can't be a lazy general manager and think you're going to throw 3, you know, first teamers, first all team, you know, players on a team, on a squad. I think you can win and roll the ball out there and win a championship. It don't work like that. You need guys like a PJ Tucker, you know, guys that play perimeter defense, guys that can knock down perimeter shots. You know, you need bigs like Robin Lopez. You know what I'm saying? You need that depth coming off your bench, man, in order to win. And I think this championship of Milwaukee is going to show the rest of the league like you can still win it, you know, the good old fashioned way, you know, by picking great players, you know, players that make sense, players that fit. Good to great, gotta get a couple great players, and then you fill out the roster with good veteran guys that have been there before, that know how to play, and that fit in your system, you know. And maybe we'll start to see, you know, as far as, you know, other teams going away from the idea of trying to get Paul George, Kawhi Leonard on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe this will be, you know, go back to the way it's supposed to be. You know, you got to go through some pain. Milwaukee did it for years, losing early in the playoffs, getting to conference finals, you know, and experiencing that heartache. You know, it just seems like it means more. You know, it's more well deserved. This championship run by Milwaukee, man.
And we can't overlook the Dario Saric ACL injury. It forced Phoenix to go small in games 2, 3, and 4, and then he went away with Kaminsky in Game 6 because Torrey Craig, and when they went to Torrey Craig and Cam Johnson and Bridges with Booker and campaign, they're too small. So they went to that zone and they got killed on the board. So Dario Saric's injury in Game 1 is kind of overlooked, but
it was overlooked.
That helped make Phoenix's 8 more complete. Because when your 8th man is Frank Kaminsky and Torrey Craig, you lose a rebounding and you lose that 3-point shooting that he gives you. Because DeAndre Ayton, I think he cost him some money because he defensively he's not squaring up to Giannis. Then he's dropping the ball. He has a problem. He's a big man that brings the ball low every time and gets stripped, and he has butterfingers too. So,
but that could be fixed. That could be corrected.
I'm not getting. Look, if it's me, you ain't getting 5 years, 168 the max, so that's you want.
Somebody's gonna give it to him.
Well, Phoenix ain't gonna let him get away, but I wouldn't do it. I would make him come back come back again and say, "Show me you're worth this." Kind of how I did with John Collins. You know, show me you're worth it before I give you this money, because you gotta pay Bridges too. You gotta pay Cam Johnson eventually. Then you got re-up Booker again.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul wants some money.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up Chris Paul. You know, speaking of him, you know, he can opt out, you know, this summer, man. And maybe he tries to, you know, go chase a ring and maybe join the Lakers on the minimum contract, or, you know, whatever the case may be, man. But you know, I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever. He's 37, 36, 37.
36.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'll ever get an opportunity as great as he had this on this team with this run they had this year. I'm not sure if he's ever going to be able to get back to that level again because it seemed like it was set up for him. You knock out the Lakers in the first round, you get through the conference semis against Denver, you knock out the Clippers in the conference finals. You went up 2-0. You went up 2-0 in the NBA finals, man. Like, this is going to be a stain on his career, man. If he somehow does not end up with a ring when it's all said and done, they're going to go back to looking at his playoff record, man. And as great as he is, I don't believe Chris Paul will go down as a top 10 point guard of all time. He may have the numbers to say he's top 10 of all time. But without a ring, you know, if he got the ring this year, you could have made an argument at the top 5 point guard of all time, man. But I'm not even sure when it's all said and done, if he doesn't have a ring to show for it, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to crack that top 10 greatest of all time list when it comes to point guards.
And then looking at the Bucks, Tucker is a free agent, JC, and I don't know what do you give him? Maybe 2 years, $20 million, maybe. Bobby Portis to me earns a lot of money. He may be
too expensive. They love Bobby Portis. He
may be out of their price range.
They gonna find a way to make that work. And the city rocks with that dude. Bobby Portis, from my observation of watching the games and the way the Milwaukee fans react to him, the way they love him, he's like Milwaukee's Tony Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just love, you know, his effort, his energy, the things that he does on the offensive end, defensive end also in Milwaukee, man. Like he's their Tony Allen. I think Tony Allen would even agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Milwaukee's gonna find a way to get him, man, you know, whatever he wants, man.
So yeah, and if you forget that, they was about DiVincenzo as well.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Dude be hooping, you know, DiVincenzo, man. So Milwaukee, like I said, you know, who knows? It may be right back in there next year. Even though I would put my money on Brooklyn team with those guys getting comfortable, get the chemistry together, and everybody staying healthy. I would still put my money on Brooklyn, but we'll see, man. Like, Giannis is only 26, so he's gonna be there for a minute.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, that series ended, and JC, do you have any thoughts on the fact that Scott Foster was there to put his man in the grave?
Hey, I think referees get a bad deal when it comes to that, man. They have control, but they do not have that much control, man, when it comes to, you know, wins and losses. They, you know, I think, you know, that's in a lot of, you know, fans' minds, you know, or whatever, man. Like, I don't put much stock in that, you know, as far as the record. Anytime that he was officiating the games for Chris Paul, you know, if you Chris Paul, like, you have to just find a way, man. Like, you up 2-0, bro, you gotta have tunnel vision. You gotta be focused. You have to find a way to will your team to a championship, man. Because this may have been your last opportunity, man.
Yeah, and he was running with. See, the thing about it with JC is that he only had one other running mate in crime. That's what it boiled down. So I don't put as much of it on him as because he only. If we look at the roster, he only had one other guy who can really create. Everybody else has to make their shots.
Yeah. And
then defensively, they was height got him too. So it's like, for me, looking at the matchup, I don't put as much on him, even though I know they should have won 4 and 5 and jacked those games off. But in the day, who can you really put on Giannis that could really is either Crowder's too small and A's not physical enough, and Kaminsky gonna get killed, and Torrey Craig's too small. So like, no matter who you threw at Giannis, as Van Gundy said, the decision between bad or worse. You know, right. I hate to be quoting Jeff Van Gundy, but
right.
In a sense, it was like bad or worse.
Right. Yeah, man. You know, but it was great. It was a great finals.
This goes back to it, JC, matchups.
Yeah.
See, a lot of fans don't understand it. It's about matchups. It's more just making or missing, or he got to do that. Said, do you realize the matchups here are a little bit? You got to look inside the game. Don't just look at it's more to this. Bounce the ball, pass, shoot. Looking at the matchups, who's guarding who's running what screens, flag cuts, down screens, slip screens, block coverage, hedging. You gotta know the game, know what you're watching before you be like. Yeah. But that's why, JC, I watched Game 5 with some people who did not know that, bro, I had a headache.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all have no clue.
So with all that being said, man, are you finally giving love to your boy Coach Bud?
Never.
It sounds like you giving a little love, little credit to Coach Bud, man.
That ain't never happening.
I feel you.
That ain't never happening. Cause you know what? If I want to really be petty, I can say, you caught the Miami Heat injured. You got a big toe in Kevin Durant in the second round. Trae Young and you got helped in the conference finals. In the finals, you got a team without their backups and they mess up those matchups. So if I want to be petty, I could.
I feel you.
Hey, sometimes, great talent beats mediocre coaching.
I feel you.
JC, you see the Coach Bud lineage in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it looks when it ain't got talent the way it needs to be.
Right, I got you. Yeah, I know.
So I will say, hey, look at the Utah Jazz, the Memphis Grizzlies, same system, same problems.
Yeah,
you got to have enough talent to beat the limitation of that system.
You're right.
And the thing said height and more talent. I mean, Milwaukee had more height and talent to overcome the basic of the randomness of that system. It's so simple and random. Like, bro, when I'm seeing no lie, I'm seeing the same play calls from Atlanta. I'm seeing them, the same play calls. I'm like, 1 spread, 5 flow, cycle 3. I'm like, it's the same place from Atlanta.
I feel you, man.
The same plays you see in Memphis too.
Yeah.
Now Taylor calls them a little bit differently, but it's the same plays.
Right.
Now, bro, we had a big stink. Deion Sanders here stormed out of SWAC Media Day in Birmingham because they called him Deion, his first name. Now, being in the media, you either call him Coach or their first name. You know, it's either or, depending on your preference. Some go first name, some go Coach. I think it's a little bit more to the story, JC, that ain't been reported. Rashad Milligan, who used to cover Atlanta Hawks, worked for the Clarion Ledger, made a story about a recruit from Dallas getting in some trouble. Deion Sanders had a problem with that. And being the control freaks they are over there at Jackson State, they banned him from the event, per se, and threatened to limit his access. So the Clarion Ledger asked him a question using his first name, right? I think he had a bonus pick anyway with the Clarion Ledger.
Yeah.
And he also used the opportunity to get in the news again, because for him, any attention is good attention. But he talks about why HBC's getting exposure. It's the same man who media relations guy, Dennis Driscoll, since you send him an email, he tells you he denies in 10 minutes. It's happened to me and others who try to get him on the show. So I'm not going to hear him have it both ways, talking about exposure for HBCU schools when he don't want to be exposed to other people in black media, mind you. He wants to go to Barstool Sports,
right,
and other name brands,
right.
And Barstool is very conservative, I might add.
Yeah, right.
So he can't have it both ways. So for me, JC, he's being extra, because in the media you call them either by their name or coach. Now, player, you call the player by their first name. That's how it works in the media. We've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, okay. I saw the story, saw the video. From my understanding, I didn't know the backstory about the recruit and trouble and all that in the newspaper reporting it. But from the video I saw that Deion posted on his IG, this was after he had told the guy not to do it, and then the guy did it again. So the guy said his name, said Deion twice. After Deion told him after the first time, hey, put some respect on my name. So from that aspect, playing devil's advocate, I understand where Coach Prime is coming from. Like, after we establish the fact, I don't want you calling me by my first name, let's carry on and then, call my name accordingly. So I think the reporter was being a smart ass, first off. All right. Because I mean, I see where you're coming from. Because like I said, doing interviews and talking to coaches, whatever. Yeah, just kind of just go with the flow, whatever like to be called. That's what you say, I've always said coach, in any aspect that I've interviewed
Now
in.
I called Dave Yeager Dave. I called Lionel Hollins coach because of the age and being an elder.
That too, but even then, it's always been coach for me. You know what I'm saying? Always. But I get what you're saying though. I understand that. But yeah, like after I tell you, boss, hey, my name, is not JC, call me coach or Coach Smith or whatever, and you still say JC, you know what I'm saying? Like after I told you not to, now either you hard of hearing or you being smart ass. And I think the reporter was being a little smart ass, and Dion was being, being Dion. He's prime. So I see both ends of it. I do.
Yeah, I
but
think what the dude was doing was he wasn't used to he wasn't used to that. He used to calling. He's one of them guys who call you by your first name, and for him, it was shock to his system. Like you telling me to call you something different. Like
right,
because that's his point of entry. To ask his question, saying your first name. See, some people have a tick where the first name gives them the point of entry to answer you their question.
Right.
You throw them off their point of entry, they can't do it.
Yeah. And it's like, right. It's just putting respect on your name. I think Dion didn't know what the hell he was talking about as far as Nick Saban. But a lot of reporters call him Nick. But remember, what was the story some years ago with Bobby Knight? Remember that? Where a kid called him, "What's up, Knight?" or something like that. And Bobby got mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a respect thing, man. Either you say Coach Knight or Coach. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, you don't want that's wrong, man. To piss off and call him something he don't want to be called. He choked the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Coach Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's about an elder. Well, I'll be real. I call Bud in Atlanta.
Yeah. But Dion's 50. And I'm sure he's like probably 20 years older than the reporter, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. So yeah, it's a respect thing,
For me, if you're over 60 or something, I'm gonna call you coach. If you under 60 or something, I'm gonna call you by your first name, depending on how you operate. But I just think that it kind of went in a bad direction, and it had to go that far. But I think it was really because of that story with the Clarion Ledger. He already had the end for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, I didn't know that part of it. So
it just kind of went there because Rashad's a black reporter. Rashad used to cover Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
So I know the dude who reported. I know him very well. He
right, but the dude who's asking the question to Dion today, he wasn't a black dude, right? He was like Hispanic or something, right?
Yeah, he wasn't do ask question was not black, nah.
Okay. Yeah.
He was just covering because since Rashad got banned, he was covering in Rashad's place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how that went down.
I got you.
That's how that went down. Yes, sir. But shoot, JC, look, man, I wasn't doing some stories, but shit, we uncovered this. We got enough. Hey, we got some good material on this right here.
We good.
Yeah, we ain't got to even go to the Boston Post. We'll say that for next week.
Yeah. Let's do it. I said sound good to me, bro.
Yes, sir. So, folks, this is my man JC. Check out his podcast. This was AF Podcast in Memphis, live at Click Sports Bar over on Malco Way, Facebook Live, StreamYard, YouTube. Him and the crew doing what they do in the city of Memphis, the 901. JC doing big things, and he will hopefully have a big special guest in the near future, hopefully.
We're working on it. Thanks to you, man. You threw the alley, you threw the lob, man. So I got to go ahead and slam it home. Got to dunk it now, man.
So, folks, it's Boss and JC. We are out.